What's going on, guys? It's GBP baby. Welcome back to another video. I hope everybody's doing well, and yeah, I hope you've watched yesterday's video and Sunday's video. You'll see that price is delivering pretty nicely as we've been anticipating. So moving on to Wednesday now. When we have high impact news on like Thursdays and Fridays and Tuesdays, but nothing on Wednesdays, you can find that Wednesdays tend to consolidate quite a lot. So I am going to be much more careful moving into Wednesday. Now, you can see how we're traded into this massive daily bullish order block, and this level right here is an hourly bullish order block that I drew our attention to, I think, on Sunday. And what you'll find is that that lines up with the midpoint of this, which is what we call mean threshold. So moving into Wednesday, the very lowest I'm allowing price to trade is down here. Now, don't get me wrong, that does seem like a fair way down. But the reason for that is because I wouldn't be surprised if they wanted to bury price even more, and then we start to see the reversal we're looking for the week. But generally speaking, it's nice to see that we traded on lower. Let's drop down to the 4 hour, and you can see how again we traded up into the bearish order block right here on Tuesday, and then you can see Wednesday. Oh wait, sorry. Yeah, traded up here on Tuesday today, bearish order block, and then stabbed in it one more time, and then price has started to trade lower, which is completely fine. Volume is still currently respecting this bullish order block, but it's nice to see that we've wicked down and grabbed those stops below these relative equal lows. Now, if you've been watching my videos this week, you'll know that I said I wanted to see this fair value gap get filled. It hasn't been filled yet. This is nice to see, but don't get me wrong, I wouldn't be surprised if they wanted to, bury it one more time, grab these stops now, and actually fill this fair value gap in. So I am going to be watching that 4 hour fair value gap to get filled, ideally with a potential reach to this even further discount fair value gap, which is that hourly order block I was talking about. So let's go to the 1 hour, and you'll see I have my daily dividers and my session dividers as well. And you can see how we had a break in market structure at around 8:30, very classic for price. And then we came down and took out those Monday lows, just what we wanted to see. And again, those relative equal lows, which got grabbed right here. So moving into tomorrow, again, it will be nice to think that we can just turn around on a whim like this. However, I wouldn't be surprised if we did try and fill this fair value gap before trading on higher. Now, there is this bullish order block, and don't get me wrong, we may want to reach down for it, but ideally we just fill this fair value gap, and then we can start thinking about potential reversals. Now, this kind of displacement, as in leaving this gap open right here like this, it is quite bearish for price. And another thing I want to bring our attention to is this gap right here. So the fact that we're below this right now, you can see how it's acting as resistance. And if you look at volume, we're continuing to respect that 50% level. So we're seeing a willingness to want to push on lower, which is why I'm now watching these Tuesday's lows as a target for Wednesday. So we do need to take that into account. It'll be a different story if we were above this gap. And when we do get back above it, you'll see how it treats it as support. But for now, I'm happy to remain bearish running into the Wednesday. And like I said, I'll be looking at this bullish order block as a very deep discount if we are going to get below there. But like I said, very nice to see that we've grabbed those stops. Not quite the strong reaction away from it that I wanted to see, which is why I don't really want to see price trade on higher from here necessarily, because although we've grabbed the stops, this kind of displacement to the upside, that's not enough for me. That is simply a retracement, and I wouldn't be surprised if they went down there one more time to reaccumulate before trading on higher to our premium PD rates. But this is a classic. It's turning out to be quite a classic week in that, they're burying price lower at the beginning of the week, and then we'll likely have like a Thursday reversal or something. So let's now drop down to the 15-minute. And again, there's that gap I was talking about, and you can see how price is respecting that gap. We've gone in it a few times, and I wouldn't be surprised if moving into that Asian session, price wanted to run these lows. So that's what I'm looking for moving into what day? Moving into Wednesday. And again, this is that hourly bullish order block with a fair value gap in a nice discounted area. So let's just get this drawn out like so. I've got a lot of things on this chart, so let's just clean it up a little bit. I'm going to get rid of this box completely. I'll keep this one because this is that 4 hour fair value gap I want to see get filled. And then this will be the very lowest I want to see price trade to. Any lower than that, I'll probably stay away from the charts. But I'd like to think that the low could get made in here, and then price can start to think about leaving this range. Another thing to take note of is, I have spoke about this before, is the way that price trades into significant levels. So if we have a significant price level like this, price isn't shy of going in it, coming out, and then going in one more time and then breaking out upwards. So with this kind of framework, let me see if I can move this. With this kind of framework taken into account, we could look at this as that first drop into a significant level. What significant level is it? It's the weekly breaker high, isn't it? So that's why I'm watching this to be stabbed into one more time, and then I'd like to think we could get a potential reversal. So I am going to be watching that very carefully. Another thing we can also look at, which I'm just noticing right now, is if we get the standard deviations and we look at -1 of this range, you'll see that that just happens to line up with what our 1 hour bullish order block. So again, this will be a classic like swing for us to go down into. So I am watching that very carefully. If we trade into this and we do get a reaction away from it, then I'll be happy to be long for the rest of the week, and then that's where my like main trading would start, because like I said, we got a nice consolidation on Monday, so these Monday highs are looking absolutely delicious, and yes, I mean that when I say it. And now we've got this beautiful Tuesday high as well, so there's a lot of buy side liquidity to get taken, and we're likely going to see that get moved to at the end, towards the end of the week. Again, like I said, Wednesdays, when there's news on Thursdays and Fridays, which we have this week, Wednesdays can be quite consolidated, so we do need to be careful. But generally speaking, I'd like to think we can continue to move down into this range and then turn around and start trading up to our premium. It is very interesting to see as well how we are playing around with this monthly equilibrium. I'm glad I marked this out. Again, if you haven't watched my Sunday video, go check that out, because I explain why I marked this out. But look at how price is treating it. Like, you can't make this stuff up. This is, clearly algorithmic to an extent. So yeah, it's very nice to see that happen, but like I said, I'd like to think that price can leave that, run out those Tuesday's lows one more time, and then potential reversal. So that's pretty much everything on dollar. Very simple, very nice day today, absolutely gorgeous. Made a high, break lower, nice breakaway gap right here that we'll likely return to later on. Now let's head over to GBP USD. So we're going to start on the daily here as well. And you'll see how GBP, just as we expected, is starting to trade up into our weekly implied fair value gap. Now, hopefully, if you're watching my videos, you'll see how I'm drawing out these places I want to see price go to, and it's getting there. Now, understanding how the markets trade and actually being able to trade it itself are two different skills in itself. So I do want you to take that into account. Nonetheless, we do have this fair value gap. It's a weekly implied fair value gap as well. So this is the implied fair value gap between this high and this open. And then on the daily, we have it lined up here as well. So there's no reason for price not to want to try and attempt to fill this in. So moving into tomorrow, again, if we're expecting dollar to want to, trade on a little bit lower, and give us that extra depth, so to speak, we're happy for GBP's trade on higher, take that Tuesday high and think about trying to fill this fair value gap in. So let's go to and also, if we do manage to fill it, you'll see it trades into this bearish order block, and that's a daily bearish order block, meaning that we should expect resistance at that level. So let's just get that open marked out like so. We'll go to the 4 hour now, and you'll see our price is just treading on up. I'd like to think we can carry on rallying. Again, beautiful fair value gap, 4 hour bearish order block. This is that daily bearish order block. So once we get there, what are we expecting? Price to find resistance. Another thing to take note of is this consolidation all the way from 11th of June. So this whole range anyway, that's a consolidation. So when you see consolidations like this, it's very important to study these, because price shouldn't need to trade back above there. This is where we accumulated. So we expect price to distribute at the same point. So I want to see price reach into here and then find its resistance. But nonetheless, let's go down to the 1 hour. We still got my eyes set on these relative equal lows. Absolutely gorgeous. Not the cleanest day, but you can see how we traded higher. Nice displacement there. Came down back into the bullish order block. What we're doing, trading on higher. Got a nice Tuesday high here. And again, that bearish order block as a target. So moving into the new day, I'd like to think that London will offer us some rallying into that, and then a potential reversal. We do have high impact news at 2 a.m. That's very interesting. So that might give us that rally that we're looking for before thinking about potential reversal on Wednesday. So yeah, it's quite a nice week so far. Remember, this is that consolidation, so we expect price to find resistance at it. If it goes above it, it's fine. Why? Because that's telling us, okay, we're more bullish than we anticipated. Let's think about these PD arrays. If it respects it, we know, okay, we're on the right side. Now let's start thinking about running towards our sell stops. So that's how I'm looking at GBP. Let's drop to the 15-minute. Okay, not the cleanest. And what you'll find, like Monday, Tuesday this week, I trade with very low risk because I want to get in on the swoops. I want to get in on the just the smooth, clean runs. And that's going to likely come, like I said, towards the end of the week when we're running to, you know, our monthly bias, which is this, you know, bearish right now. So that's why we're seeing such high resistance. When we see high resistance environments like this, as we're just, you know, back and forth, it's not nice to trade in, guys. But you'll see later if we do turn around and it is, you know, clean, and it should be, especially with this kind of news on Thursday and Friday, it's just going to swoop and it'll be really nice. But yeah, relative equal highs nonetheless. These are going to get ran hopefully tomorrow. And then once we're in that premium, that's when we can start thinking about potential shorts and opportunities, so long as we are respecting that consolidation and that bearish order block, remember, from the daily. So yeah, very nice. Let's go to Euro. I'm loving this week, guys, as well. Like, if you've been watching me for a while, you can even hear it in my voice how much more calm I am approaching weeks like these as opposed to non-farm payroll weeks, interest rate announcement weeks. You can hear it because you sense it, you know, you feel it. Nonetheless, let's go on the weekly now. Oh, go on the daily, why not? So again, we've got this range. I think this is from a lower time frame, but this is a bearish order block right here. Similar to what we saw on dollar, we're looking at the midpoint as the very highest we want to see price trade. So that's what this black line delineates. Let's just make this a little bit thicker. We'll make it dash just so we know that's the very highest we want to see price trade to. And you'll see how we wicked up right to that equilibrium point again. So it's nice to see price respecting these levels as anticipated. Now moving into the new day, I want to see, okay, can price now trade, you know, deeper into this range? So this is a massive fair value gap. That will be the midpoint. That's what we call mean threshold off that massive daily bearish order block. So this is the very highest I want to see price trade. And yeah, there's pretty clean. We ran out these buy stops just as anticipated. Yes, there's a massive wick, but wicks are ranges too. So we can look at the midpoint of this. And once we get above it, let's get this marked out. We can look at the midpoint of this to help us with framing potential setups. So once we get above that midpoint, if price still wants to remain bullish, then we can think, okay, we should find support on that and start running for this high, which is Tuesday's high, and where? 2 hour mean threshold. Let's go to the 1 hour. We'll probably be able to see much more. You can see how we traded lower, created the low at 7 a.m. Classic, nice. Changing state of delivery right here. Alexa, stop. Excuse me. Nice change in state of delivery right here. So, and then we have a breaker, low, high, lower, low. Now, what's interesting about this is that we have pretty much already traded to it. So I wouldn't be surprised if moving into the new day, we just started rallying. And we did see that Tuesday high get taken. Completely fine with me. And then we might want to try and get into a nice premium. Nonetheless, the lowest I'd want, like, if we do retrace and we do go below this low, I'm looking at this high to get traded to. But generally speaking, because of how big this up close candle is, before the move lower, before the break higher, I'm looking at this to continue to provide support, and, you know, the order blocks after this to continue to provide support until we run out this high. Once that Tuesday high is gone, or once we're above this midpoint of the 4 hour, this might be getting confusing for you guys. Once we're above this, then and only then am I happy to start thinking about shorts. Like, I don't want to see price start to drop off yet. Like I said, yes, we ran the relative equal highs, but I don't think we're done. We haven't had displacement, right? We're still bullish. So once we'll know when we have displacement, guys. We'll know. But generally speaking, I'd like to think we can continue to rally a little bit more. As price is doing that, it'd be nice to see dollar fall down into our discount, like I said, and then we can start thinking about, you know, setups. But nonetheless, not the cleanest again. A lot of consolidation. Nice expansion into our relative equal highs, though. Absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, pretty simple. It'll be nice to see if this can hold its support until we run out this high. And it's things like this. Again, this is like algorithmic thinking, guys. I want this level to provide support until this happens, and then I'm happy for shorts. If we lose this before we get up there, it might be a whole nother story, and that's completely fine. But it's these which are like, these are my indicators. This is what I see as indicators for price. So yeah. But nonetheless, Wednesday tomorrow, be a little bit more cautious. But look at this massive range. Downside, downside, downside. And you know, it's looking like we're quite bullish, right? So if anything, we should be seeking to fill this range in. So bullish order blocks should be acting like bullish order blocks and behaving like bullish order blocks, like right here. So there's no reason we need to necessarily come in here. If we are going to come in here, where we're going, midpoint, lowest, very lowest. But yeah, that's going to be everything, guys. I hope you found this insightful. And make sure to join the mailing list, smash subscribe, join the Discord as well. I am active in there, and I should be in the charts tomorrow anyway. But yeah, I'll catch you tomorrow. Peace.